2.5 years, 175 games, 941 days. Here he is. I think he's healthy. Good look at a three. There it is. First dunk, first three.
Well, it took 941 days, but Klay Thompson was back last night, returning from an injury and then a torn Achilles, a separate injury. He dropped 17 in 20 minutes. I'm here with our resident hoop star, Chiney Ogwumike. Chiney, is that okay if I call you our resident hoop star, or do I need to also mention
Absolutely.
the Sparks? Okay, I'm glad. Well, we were all worried about whether we see the Klay of old, right? Did you see that guy last night?
One second, Max. Klay area! I am so excited, not just as someone who played in the Bay Area, but every basketball fan was super excited to see Klay Thompson back in a Warriors jersey. And yes, this is the guy that we have always known. So the answer to your question is absolutely. You mentioned it. 941 days, too long. 177 games he missed, way too long. And what I loved in the first game back, as you're seeing these highlights, is that he did not wait for his opportunity. He took it. First play of the game, scored. And then that thunderous dunk, and then my favorite thing, the face right there, the fizz face, as they say in the Bay Area. So it was an amazing return for Klay Thompson. I feel like that's probably one of the special moments, not only for him, but his entire team.
I'm going to call him Klay. I'm going to call him Klay. I mean, like, if they come back and win the championship this year, he's going to have to change his name to Ali Thompson. Does the return of Klay Thompson make the Warriors the favorite to come out of the West, Chiney?
Honestly, I think it's 50-50 for me right now. And if you look at the records, I believe both teams, the Warriors and the Phoenix Suns, are both 30-9. And so the Warriors have a test with their upcoming games, the upcoming road schedule. But right now, I think it's neck and neck between the Bay and the Valley boys. And I'll say this, the one caveat that I've always said about, you know, the Bay Area and Steph Curry and the Warriors, they don't have a true center. You know who does? DeAndre Ayton emerging as a baller, potentially first-time All-Star for Phoenix. That's the X factor in a matchup where, okay, maybe James Wiseman comes back. So I love the Warriors. I love what they've been able to do. I think they are favorites, co-favorites with the Suns, and I give maybe potentially a nod in a series, maybe at this point, you know, given health and circumstances later on, based on that center position that the Phoenix Suns have. Draymond Green has been able to hold it down, but the reality is these two teams are the best in the West. They have different strengths, but right now I feel like both teams are making their cases to be in that finals, Western Conference Finals.
And Ayton is getting better. He was already got better, and then he's gotten better again, it seems. All right, Klay Thompson was the story of the night, Chiney, but the play of the night belonged to the player the Warriors face tomorrow night, Ja Morant. Chiney, please take a look at this block. I mean, come on. How is Avery Bradley supposed to deal with friends and family after this one? Like, what do you do? Oh, my goodness!
Say what?
What?
I love this, Max, for multiple reasons. Max, look at how it's Russell Westbrook that missed, you know, the ball, the rebound after Ja blocked it. I think it's crazy in these amazing moments. Those two guys, Russ and obviously Ja, are probably the most athletic point guards we have seen the last 10 or so years. But this is an example of why, you know, the Memphis defense has been superb as of late during their win streak. They lead the NBA in average blocks, in average steals, and in average rebounds. Their defense has been going crazy. When you have plays like that, what Ja Morant just showed, that'll just catalyze your team. And there's a reason why they're, I think, right now, #2 in our power rankings. Who would have thunk it?
It's like Ja's like an X-Man posing as a basketball player, and he almost gave away the fact that he's actually superhuman. Like, he really started to fly and then remembered, oh, no, people can't know I actually fly. Let me just stop and grab this ball.
They can't see all my tricks just yet.
Right, it's unbelievable. Can they surprise people in the playoffs this season?
I can see a run similar to what we saw in the Eastern Conference all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, like the Atlanta Hawks. This Memphis Grizzlies team has a lot of the same capabilities. Both we saw, you know, last year we saw Trae Young dazzle and shush the guard in, right, and take a bow. I mean, Ja's having that meteoric type of rise where it seems like, especially now, just refining and peaking, hopefully, at the right time. Their defense is great. Their development as a team overall, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane going from about, like, I think 7 points per game to this year 17 points per game. Their development and their defense has been a reason why they are profoundly successful, and I think they can surprise some real teams out west come the playoffs.
Speaking of profoundly successful, Chiney Ogwumike, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Chiney. this weekend. Klay Thompson, he'll play his first NBA game in 2.5 years against the Cavs. Perk, the Warriors have the best record in the NBA, and they get Klay back now. The last time we saw Steph, Klay, and Dre together, they were in the finals. And that triumvirate, of course, predates Kevin Durant's time in the Bay Area. Does this officially make the Warriors favorites in the West?
Yes, the favorites in the entire NBA. Here's the thing. When you got role players like Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins stepping up and doing what they're doing right now, and I get it, it's in the regular season, and the Warriors have the best record. But when you get a Klay Thompson back, a healthy Klay Thompson at that, it takes the pressure off of Steph Curry. Okay, it opens up things for everybody else. And we know that Klay Thompson has the capability of going out there when it matters the most in the postseason, of actually being the best player on the floor. We have seen it time and time again. So adding a healthy Klay to what the Warriors already have right now, forget just the favorite in the Western Conference. They're going to be the favorite to win it all.
But Jacoby does not look so sure.
I'm not ready to say that yet. I need to see Klay Thompson play. Right now, I know what I have in the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns won the Western Conference last year. They've got a very consistent roster. They've got a great coach, and they've got CP3 on the floor. The Warriors have Dre, Klay, Steph, Iguodala, and a bunch of young guys that are unproven in the postseason. I need to see what Klay looks like. Right now, if I had to pick a team to come out of the West, it would be the Phoenix Suns.
Perk?
Yeah, but Jacoby, listen, man. This is the thing. When you look, I'm not taking anything away from the Phoenix Suns. So I look at the Golden State Warriors and Phoenix Suns. I think they're 1A and 1B. But the one thing that the Golden State Warriors do have, they have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Draymond Green. And he anchors the defense like no other. Matter of fact, he might be the best leader in the NBA. When is the last time we seen Andrew Wiggins play with this type of tenacity? When is the last time we seen Andrew Wiggins actually look like he give a damn? We seeing it right now, and it speaks to the coaching. It speaks to the coaching. And Ron Adams, who is the defensive coach over there, one of the best defensive minds in the game, if you got him on your sideline and your coaching staff, you definitely have a chance of winning a championship.
I hope Ron Adams can guard DeAndre Ayton. That's all I hope. I hope he can guard DeAndre Ayton, because I don't see anyone else in the roster that can.
Draymond Green can.
I know there's no Bogut on this roster, but when you look at the original Warriors pre-Kevin Durant, it was really the identity was Steph and his pick-and-roll partner in Dre, who could do everything, still there. Now you're adding Klay back. Even if he can't defend the same way coming off injury, he'll hit shots, right? And you have some young athletic talent on this team that they didn't exactly have on that team to the degree they have that. Doesn't that make them, especially with the continuity of their three core pieces, until we see otherwise, doesn't that make them the team?
You make a good point. This new Warriors nucleus mirrors the pre-KD Warriors more than previously. And you talked about one side of the ball, but it's also defense. Remember, the death lineup, switch everything.
Right.
They can do that now with some of their younger players, like Gary Payton II and Kuminga, if he can get himself together and get some more minutes. They mirror the previous iteration of the Warriors more than they do the KD Warriors now.
And I will just say, I got to shout it out. LeBron James